What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Jersey to Vegas podcast. It is episode number 14. I have a special guest for you guys today. She is a ex-crankster, but always crankster for life. Also a good friend. She's one of the people that I always kind of looked up to at the gym, to be there all the time, to be very dedicated, to kind of help other people when when they feel down. I know they have more social support than outside of the gym. And I kind of felt that with her and like the group of what we would call the Breakfast Club there. So everyone has their little niches and cliques, and that club kind of was a really tight clique, and there still is. And you saw what she's doing now. It's kind of like a reflection of what she would do with the members at the gym. And personally, I fucking love her. I would like to introduce you to Amber from ilevelupdaily.com.
Correct.
Fuck yeah, I got that right.
You got it.
On you.
You got it. Hi, guys. And I just want to say, love you, Pete. Right back at you. Crankster for life right here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. I'm so excited to have you. Before we get into something, I'm going to make sure that I shout out my Patreons. My new Patreons this month are Danny B. I'm not going to give you the full. And then we got John Esco. So guys, thank you so much for being part of my Patreon. If anyone else wants to, definitely check out the Patreon at patreon.com/Jersey2Vegas. If you put in Pete Isip, he does not exist. It is Jersey to Vegas, and you guys could jump on there, get some awesome things. This month, I kind of sent out a bunch of cartoon images of everyone that's on the Patreon, and it's more than just helping me out, because I'm also trying to make it fun for you guys. But we are going to get into, now that I introduced Amber. Amber, if you guys don't know, I don't know what she does at all. I don't know what anyone does in the gym. Right? Nothing. You guys just work out, and then you came in, we had a great time, and then you guys left. That pretty much, that's all I know. And as I watched her on social media, I watched this person progress. Right? And you watch this person just become better and better and better, and even more open to what she would do probably within a one-on-one situation. And now you see her more on social media, and now just recently just launched her own website called ilevelupdaily.com. I want to make sure I do not mess it up. I think I got it right. Yes?
You did.
All right,
Yep.
Cool. I got that right. She also, I just saw that she just got certified at the IPEC. If you guys don't know what IPEC is, I will explain that a little bit more, but I'm going to open up to Amber just to kind of introduce yourself a little bit, let people know what it is you do, because I have no fucking idea except you're beautiful, and that's about it. So Amber, take it away, please.
Well, thank you, Pete. Back when we met at Crankster, I was really a corporate professional in HR, and I was in the process of getting my wellness nutrition certificate from INN, and the Integrative School of Nutrition. I became a certified health coach doing while I was at Crank, and that's really where the coaching window kind of opened up for me, and I fell in love with all things mindset and wellness and health. Most recently, I just graduated from IPEC, which is the International Institute of Professional Coaching. I had 3 certificates from them, with the latest one being the Professional Coaching Certificate. But I'm also an energy leadership practitioner and a core leadership dynamic practitioner. What I do is I'm known as the Mindset Liberator. I work with high-performing women to liberate their mindsets from any limiting beliefs, blocks, social structures that keep them small. I mean, the word says it itself. It limits you from being who you authentically are and what you came to this world to truly own. And that's where my passion and purpose, I find so much joy and freedom in helping women become who they truly are.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You said energy practitioner. What exactly is that? Like, is that like your chakra?
Energy level.
Your energy. So how you use your energy.
Yeah, very, very similar to your chakras. There's 7 energy levels. We all possess all 7. Energy is neither good and bad, but you will relate to this, Pete. There are anabolic energy levels and there are catabolic energy levels. And as you know, catabolic energy eats you and anabolic builds, right? So when you are in the lower level of the scale, energy 1 and 2 is catabolic. That's when you're ruminating, you're stuck, you're showing up from a place of guilt and shame, and the world feels heavy and everything is happening to you, not for you. And anger also shows up at the level 2. As you ascend up the ladder, you start to enter the more anabolic. So level 3, collaboration, cooperation. Level 4, service. Level 5, win-win, right? You approach the situation from what is the benefit of the highest of all. Level 6 is intuition, higher guidance, being aware. And level 7 is ascending masters have that energy all of the time. And that is full creation, oneness with the world. And we all dance. It's a ladder. We dance through it throughout the day.
Right.
But through the energy leadership assessment, I read your levels and I get you to raise your awareness to understand of how you're showing up and where you're showing up at which energy level so that you can consciously choose. Because that's what most people forget, is that we consciously have a choice at every moment.
Could you expand a little bit? You said it's a ladder. So like daily, it's never just like, I'm going to stay at 3 today or 4
No.
today. It's like, okay, things happen.
Yes. So the assessment looks at your energetic reaction when things are going well, when you're like on top of the world, you're feeling good, you're the best Pete there is, and what is your energetic profile when you're feeling good? And then when stressors hit, what is your energetic profile? And stressors can be defined from anything, right? Your dog running out the house, hitting traffic, your kids spilling milk on the floor, depending on what we perceive to be stressors. That is our energetic perception. And usually when you are under stress, you go down the ladder, right? Because remember, the higher ones are anabolic, so you go down to the catabolic level. So most people have a stress reaction that's either level 1 or 2, which level 1 is apathy. I'm a victim. Nothing's happening towards me. It's their fault. And level 2 is really categorized by anger and conflict. So think of the dude who's always in conflict. He's in conflict with the weather, right? He's in conflict with the server. He's in conflict with everything. That's level 2 energy. And remember, neither energy is good or bad. We need all of them. We need to know, hey, I need anger to use my voice right now. Like think of a teenager. They use level 2 all the time. They're claiming their own independence.
Wow. Guys, if you're listening, I want you to comment down below and let me know what level do you think you're at, from 1 to 7, because you got 7 different ones. That's fucking interesting, man. Like you always see the chart, right? The rainbow chart of the guy sitting in the most flexible position possible. It makes more sense now that you say that, especially running up and down the ladder daily. Like you can do it that way. Now, you also, when you explained, I guess you could say the business model that you have, you really niched into a different type of market. You said minority women, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Why do you think that's so important to niche that down?
Thinking of my progression and my story, I wish I had the mentors and the coach and, more of the Pete's along my journey and more of this information readily available to me. It is really dear to my heart to ensure that all women by gender and all types of cultures are minority, right? But minority immigrant women that are come from another culture that are living in the States, it doesn't matter how much you've accomplished and how much you've gotten out of that immigrant mindset or the minority, sort of mindset, you still carry a feeling of feeling like a second-class citizen. So it doesn't matter what your bank account looks like, how many degrees you have, right? It's something deep rooted. And unless we get rid of that deep rooted sentiment of, I feel like a second class citizen, which also shows up as an imposter syndrome, which carries a lot of shame. I don't belong here. So you can take a CEO minority woman in the boardroom and still she may still have those feelings that they don't belong. And I experienced that really, really, really prevalent all the time as I climbed up the corporate ladder. And I just want to, and I want to ensure that other women know that it doesn't have to be that way. And you don't have to fit in.
Truth. And you don't have to fit in. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Now, you talked about the IPAC, right? IP. This is new. I know you just graduated pretty much. What's the program entail?
It's usually an 8 to a year program and entails 3 certifications. I completed it in 9 months, and I just finished my last. I just finished my last certification.
9 months. 9 months. You're doing 9 months, people. Pregnancy. She completed college by the time you had a baby.
Wow. But I just received my last certification as a professional coaching, and IPIC is great because they're recognized by the International Federation of the Coaching Institute, which means it's global. It's actually the only federation that actually has skills and competencies that coaches have to follow. So as you know, Pete, there's a lot of coaches out there. People call themselves coaches all the time. It's a really saturated industry, and it's really important that people like you and myself are always sharing knowledge about really what is the craft and what it takes to really be a coach and have those competencies that are recognized at a global level.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just another level that like you could have a personal trainer or coach, right? Let's put it in
Yeah.
fitness sense,
Yeah.
that is decent. But then there's the ones that just kind of do more. They get certified by better. There's no, that's a judgment at some time, but no, for real, like they're better educated, but at the same time know how to put the application into work. And I actually worked with an IPEC coach back in like 2011. His name is Tony. We did it for like 2 years, and then that's when we started to get married. And then Nat goes, no more, because that's out of the budget. But at that period of time, it really helped me kind of understand the strategies behind how I should not only move my life, but also help my business out, and kind of find that. Tony helped me find that ground that just, it helped keep me level, he wasn't like a psychiatrist or anything. That just helped me find the different, never told me what to do, just offered me advice, not even advice. He just kind of gave me tasks. Like, why don't you do this, and try this. We'll see you next month, or, every 2 weeks, I believe. And then went to like month to month, kind of went down a little bit. Is that kind of what you'll be doing too, or what you do now?
Yeah, you brought up an excellent point. You said, your IPEC coach, Tony, was not a therapist. And, a lot of people get confused between therapy and coaching. Coaches are not therapists. Therapy focuses on the past. They focus on working with individuals who are not functioning, right? So when you think of an individual in therapy, there's a level in their area of their life, they're not functioning. They can't get out of bed. They can't hold a relationship. They can't get to work. They're not functioning. Coaches work with individuals who are functioning, but we work with them to get them to optimal level. Mm-hmm. So we create a space that is a safe space to ensure that we are creating awareness and shifting mindsets through working with limiting beliefs and blocks and internal blocks that you might be subconscious to that are really keeping you stuck.
Got it.
So
level up, pretty much.
Level
it's
up,
like, level up. You're not like starting from the bottom, kind of they're there. How do you get a little bit higher, which is most people don't think that they need coaches for that, because they think they're good. So I always say, when you feel like you're on top, it's time to get back down to the bottom, because when you're on top, it's fun, but then after a while, it's mundane. And then what works for you now, it's not going to work for you to get to here. So that's kind of like how I always think about it whenever I get stuck, right?
That's a great mindset. And we're always the student, right? So, and to every top, there's another top.
Right.
So there are levels to this shit.
Right. And then everyone says, when does it stop?
It
doesn't. Because like she said before, it's a ladder, right? You're gonna fall. I'm on fucking 2, 3 again. I'm back, but I'm working, I'm working. And that's kind of it. I was at 7. I was at fucking 7 right fast. But that's life,
and that's it.
And that's it. That's life. And you call yourself the mindset liberator. And she does this, guys. It's awesome. I can't not know what she's gonna say when she says it. But you say liberator and the word liberated. What's your definition of liberated?
My definition of a liberated is someone who is 100% authentic, living their true blueprint of their designed life based on their dreams that were bestowed on their soul. So therefore they have personal freedom, and personal freedom comes with independent thinking, not having the need to fit in, having a high level of self-worth and service.
Nice. You're like a mix of like a corporate CEO that met some like tree hugger.
Well, I was in corporate for over 15 years, so I was an HR professional.
And you know how to say shit because you're in HR, so you know how to like, nope, that's not the right thing to say. You know how to, what I mean? So it's cool. You could see it. Like you come out of nowhere, you're very professional, and then out of nowhere you come up with some Zuzu, and I'm like, whoa, the Zuzu just drove by. I'm like, oh, that's you mesh it very well. Mesh that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That was my biggest block. So really? You calling that out was that's powerful for me right now. Yeah, I had for a long time. I felt that I had to compartmentalize corporate amber versus the Susu, the crystal, the new amber age. The one that so well, that incorporates all type of stuff into my day, and they had to be separate. And wow. I even dressed completely different. And it wasn't until I had a very powerful coaching session that I realized, wow, My biggest block is that I feel that they're separate, and Coach Amber is Coach Amber, and corporate HR leader is corporate HR leader. That I wasn't able to launch my business. Once I had that removed, it was like, wait a minute, everything that I learned in the corporate world is for me. Therefore, every skill set I've used to launch I Level Up Daily, and everything, every experience I had, it's a people experience. So it translates into coaching as well, because we're all holistic beings.
And you see it, like you hear it, the way you talk, and it meshes well. You're not forcing it. There's a lot of people that force language. It's just really smooth. So I commend you on that, like finding that blend that you don't have to be like the normal CEO / business person, just being yourself. And
Thank you.
I'm glad you saw that. That's awesome. Yeah, I just noticed it. I was like, yeah, she's really good at that. I started reading your blog. Didn't, because the website's up, guys. If you haven't gone, ilvupdaily.com. And I'll put it down below so you guys can see if you guys are on YouTube. You said it before, like, instead of, this is one thing that caught my attention, instead of drama, choose solutions. Instead of doubt, choose, I can't read my handwriting. Instead of negativity, choose possibility. Instead of doubt, choose, instead of doubt, choose growth. Instead of negativity, choose possibility. I found that very powerful because it kind of also meshes into that ladder that you're talking about. It looks like those are the stages. Is that correct? Is that what that is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's 100% good observation. Yeah, that was written from the energy ladder. Doubt is level 1. When you're focusing on doubt, you don't have any trust. You don't have any faith in yourself and in the universe, and the ability that everything is working for you. You're being taken care of, because a lot of us think that we're here in this earth by ourselves. We're not. We're not. We're being guided. And there's, like, I call up on a team every day, my ancestors, my guides, my angels, and I tell them, this is your job, this is my job, because there's shit that earthly we can handle, but there's shit that is not, it's beyond us. Those serendipity moments, when those opportunity happens, when the right people fall into your life, when that job comes out of nowhere, that's not us. That's us doing the daily work to get ready for that opportunity. But the opportunity, what a lot of us get, where the doubt comes from, is because we get stuck on the outcome. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And you know this very well, Pete. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z for the abs. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z for the, for the dream job or for the dream girl. It's not the outcome. It's the journey. So when you let go of the outcome, there is no need to doubt, because I'm not going to doubt that I'm going to show up on a daily basis to do what I have to do for the betterment of me and those around me.
So when you take that outcome, there is no doubt, because there's no fear of rejection, failure, or anything. No. Interesting. That's interesting.
And then the level 6 energy is it's the intuition, the trust, and the higher power. And the 7 is the integration, that we're all one. So if I'm one with the universe and I'm showing up, which nothing communicates more that you love yourself and you have a high self-worth, than when you show up for your mental and health and your emotional well-being, to do things to better yourself, right? That feel good for you. And sometimes that's resting, sometimes that's sleeping, sometimes that's not touching the phone, whatever it may be. You're communicating. We're always communicating at an energy level. Right. So when you communicate at that level, the universe, which responds and is highly organized in a systematic level that there's not one human being who can tell you how, is going to respond in the same pattern and give you a replica of what you're doing and give you the best outcome for you.
You think is that where, do you think, like, when people say you are who you hang out with, that those levels become stronger at that? Like, if you're a 2 and you just hang out with all angry people, obviously, and then if a 7 comes, does that 7 disrupt it? I don't know.
It shines a light. Yeah, it shines a light. It's possibility. So when you operate from the anabolic levels above 5, 6, and 7, you become an expander for other people. You become a possibility. And I always say that I'm not the exception. I'm the rule. Anyone can do what I do. Anyone can do it. It's just really being that consciously choice maker in your life of how you're going to show up and what you choose and where you choose to dwell. Because I can choose to dwell right now and level 1 energy of toxicity and negativity and level 2 of anger. but that's going to replicate and create a ripple effect. And that's what people forget about manifestation, right? So it's like, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to have a vision board and I'm going to affirm my life away. But if internally what you are, your internal world creates your external world. Internally, if you are in such a low vibration of energy, there is no way a high vibrational manifestation, whether it's an item, a person, an experience, it's going to attach because it doesn't come down. It's the law of gravity. It's got to
Right.
go up.
Right.
So you've got to go up.
Because it is about the steps, right?
Yeah.
Not about the all the time.
Correct.
Once you get there, sometimes like, all right, not that cool.
And no. And there's no good vibe only, right? We're humans.
Right.
And I think a lot of people get stuck in that, hey, it's good vibe only, and we have to feel good all the time. And we have to, no, we're human. We're supposed to feel it all. And one of the things I always say, like, I am truly like a life alchemist because I love feeling the grit. I love being in the pits. I love I love alchemizing that because the lesson is there and it makes you human.
Right. That's, if there's like one thing people could take away from today, it's like, you're human and it's okay to feel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And sometimes the best feeling is that 7 mark, you know, and you're there, you know, the moment when it's like, it's just that moment you can't forget about. And it was just like the great time. And the sun was, maybe you're on mushrooms and the sky was blue and the sun was out talking to you. And there were people and, you know, people were marching, you know, it just felt so good. But everyone also remembers the ones, you know, but I feel like a lot of people focus so much more on the 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
But that could just be me. You know, I don't know. Because I know I love living sometimes in the pits as well. But I kind of use it to make myself feel better because it's not more gratifying. But feeling better is really nice, you know, in comparison to where you kind of get stuck.
100%. And no one resides at any level forever. We all fluctuate. Like I said, it's a dance, right? So you're always dancing, and it's understanding how you can shift it. And that's what shifting energy is that conscious choice to say, right now, I'm feeling this, I'm at a level 1 and I'm going through the pits, but I know that if I shift from this perception to maybe a level 5 perception, like let's say I'm having a shitty day with my husband, how can I create a win-win situation for everyone that's involved? That's going to shift me from feelings of guilt and shame and not being good enough to how can I make this better for the both of us? And then you start to shift that energy.
Right.
But most people don't want to feel it. Most people just want to, like, you know, oh no, I'm a level 1. Let me have a drink. Let me take a hit of a joint. Let me numb myself.
Numb it.
It's okay. Yeah. But I think it's because people, you know, they've normalized being at a level 1, 2, and 3, which is the lower scale, right? It's okay. They've normalized that in society. They haven't normalized being well, being healthy, being happy, being optimistic. Like if a person that walks into the room has an amazing vibe, most people are like, what's up with her?
Right.
Why is she, you right?
Yeah. Yeah. That energy pulls the attention. They're like, hate her, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and to if you're having a rough day with your husband, just give him a steak and a bourbon. Kind of looks like that. Looks like he'll be fine. Tell him I said hello, by the way.
I will. You know him very well.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's true. Like you walk into there, and that. So let's kind of turn this around a little bit, and we're going to talk about you. You've done a lot with this and everything. It's kind of been a journey from what I've been watching, and right now it looks like it's at the peak of a new one. What do you think is your biggest failure that taught you something? Now, I know you kind of said something before that with like not being able to choose. Maybe that was it. But let me know, what do you think your biggest failure was?
Oh, I've had many, depending on which season of my life you want to talk about. But I've had many. I think at a personal level, my biggest lesson that is very prevalent to who I am today is that I thought that I needed to fit in, I needed to be a certain way to be accepted. And my biggest failure was doing that for over 14 years.
Ooh, not just a year, 14 years?
14 years, yeah.
14 years, not being yourself.
Correct.
That's like, what do they call that? I can't think about it. Not resisting. I'm the worst with the words.
Suffocating.
Suffocating, yeah. Like,
yeah.
It's like you just can't break away, right?
Yeah.
Because of that. Do you feel like a lot of people are like that?
Oh, yeah. A lot. especially in
Yeah.
the corporate world. A lot of leaders are like that, which
Why
doesn't
is that?
lead the structures there. You've got the dress codes, you've got the policies, you've got the power struggle. You've got these individuals who think they are their careers, so they have to, and those are the models that are there. So new professionals are coming in, they're like, well, this person was successful, this person never smiles, this person never does this, they wear a tie, right? So they follow that mold. And that's why one of the big things I focus on is you don't have to follow anyone's blueprint but your own.
Wow.
Because it's like those years weren't wasted, because it's been my biggest life lesson, and the freedom I feel today, I'm grateful that I had that.
Right.
But I spent 14 years in that, and it felt suffocating.
Right. Right. Not being able to do it. You kind of like, and you like second guess yourself. It's like, should I be thinking this way? Should I
Yeah.
even do this? Is it worth it? But then there's so much more like other things that kind of make you stay there or do that. I'm not saying it's wrong. A lot of you guys, everyone chooses their own path.
Yeah.
But just it kind of, yeah, that's cool. Like not being yourself is, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just do whatever the fuck I want. And like, it sucks sometimes because some people don't understand it. Right. But then at the same time, who
Yeah.
cares? Like it's you.
Well, that has always been your superpower to me. And I think like you were one of my first expanders to show me that. When I went into Crank, even from our first interaction, it was just like your authenticity. It's so real. It's palpable. You can feel that. And that's really one of your biggest strength, and it's what's really helped you build the brand and really made you stood out in Crank, and that community that you built was built on that authenticity. So for me, you were one of my biggest expanders. Like when I first saw that, I was like, okay, there is another way, right? Um, and I remember coming home and telling my husband, like, oh God, I just feel like my creative flower inside is dying. And he used to laugh at me. He's like, you have a creative flower? But it just meant my self-expression, which is what you see now in my work. I couldn't self-express myself the way that I purposely and authentically want to. And I went into my career thinking that that was the pathway that would allow me to help as many women as possible. And it turned out to be, throughout those 14 years, I had many signs intuitively, but on paper it looked good, Pete. On paper it looked good. I had the money, I had the health insurance. On paper, people are like, what the hell? Just go and do your job and come home and then live your life, because that's what everyone is taught.
Right. It's true. That's what you're taught.
Yeah.
Well, thank you first off for saying that I was some type of influence, and I appreciate that. But it's true. Like once you kind of know who you are, like not saying life's easier, but you kind of know which way and directions you kind of move into. Not all the time, but kind of. But then there's the other one that kind of pulls you away from it. Like right now, for me, it's like I make this list. I do this daily planner every day. I have to write this out because I feel insignificant that I don't do anything throughout the day because I'm home with my kids and I do all this stuff that doesn't have paper, right? It doesn't have anything, but what it does, it has memories, structure, life, like, but there's nothing, you know what I mean? But we're so conditioned to have to want more of what I guess other people do. I don't know. I just don't feel normal because I was so used to running a gym and doing all this grunt work and finding all these people and doing all this marketing to like, okay, I wake up, I work out, I make breakfast, I clean, I do, I'm doing all this stuff that most people would say is woman work, right? And it's not. It's fucking being a parent, like to two children that I'm trying to raise right. Like I'm just trying to make sure they have someone to love.
And it's human work and it's parenting work, and you're the one with the flexibility to be present at the moment. So and it's the season of your life of what is calling you. You've had that season of high growth and grind and marketing and running a successful business, and you're in the middle of a transition, and the season is calling you to settle your roots and deepen them, and God knows what's going to come from this, and that's exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to think about, but it is exciting because I tell myself all the time, it's like, so I always think about a seminar I went to, I could say maybe 2010, 2011, right? It's the first one for business, gym business seminar. And everyone was up there talking about they want to express their goals. And I said mine, and like, I don't think anyone cared because the only goal I said, I just want to be a good father. And then I walked off. That was it. But now I'm here, like in the position to do that. but I'm resisting it because I'm not doing what I used to do. It's like, you asked for it.
Yeah.
You put it out there and you always said you just want to be a good dad. It's not about money. It's not about stuff. It's all about just being a good dad and making sure I show up. But the one other thing I would say is never miss a day. I never want to miss a day. Someone told me that. Like, make sure some old guy gave me information. What's not information? What's that shit called? Advice and information. Advice. And he was like, Pete, if I could tell you one thing, he's like, never miss a day. I was like, and it stuck. And after that, I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. It's funny that you say that because I'm here, but it just doesn't have that paper behind it.
And it's hard because if you look outside, right, we are beings that we're taught to compare, right? And who's doing better in that little blueprint and who's doing what. So it gets hard. It does but it's what you're being called to. And when you stop resisting, you allowed.
Right.
So the exciting part comes with allowing, like, what is going to come from this? I trust you. I'm just going to show up and I have my plan. I'm doing what I can do that aligns to my purpose within what I need to do, which is what you're doing. That's why we're on here.
Right. Exactly. I was resisting taking this full on and just doing it. I was like, it's so late in the game. Like, you've tried this so many times now. Why are you going to stick to it? And I kind of like all the time, like, question it off, but I was like, no, this is it. This is stuff I can do in the time that I have. And I enjoy it. Like, I love all this techie weird shit. I love it. Like, I love editing. It's weird. Like, I love it. I always did. Like, that's why I made crank videos. Like, the way I marketed is all I do now, and I just got really good at it. Well, I'm okay. And without school, thanks YouTube. And that's it. If you guys feel like you're lost, please just give me a like. Give Amber a like right now because she's fucking blown it up. And I'm really happy that we're here today. I know she has a client coming up at some point because she's super busy. And by the way, guys, quick story. I don't know East Coast, West Coast fucking time yet. So I completely botched this podcast. I'm glad it happened. I went out for a walk. I had everything on schedule. I had it right. I just didn't want to do math. Not used to it yet. So Amber was on at 10. I walked in through the door at 10:21. For me, it's 10:21. And she was like, hey, where the fuck are you? She didn't say that. She was like, hey, I'm on. I was like, oh, shit. When, like, you fuck up and, like, your butt gets tight, my butt got tight. And that's been,
you're good.
All right. This is going to be, might be the same. I don't know, but this is like my staple question I'm going to start asking people since I do a lot of mental health and kind of how life kind of revolves around, whether it's fitness, nutrition. I don't care what you do. There's something for someone that you learn. And there's tough times in life. And can you name one of those and how you overcame it? It's like an interview question.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I became a single mom at 22, Dominican immigrant, single mom. I think that my 20s were my toughest time. That was a time where I had to deviate from what was expected of me from my family because, they expected me to stay home and raise my daughter. And I just didn't feel like doing that. I wanted my daughter to know who I was. So I moved out and worked a lot of waitressing job, put myself through graduate school, not knowing what the fuck I was doing. I had never even held a kid, but, that was my toughest time. And how I got through that was, I threw myself into learning. That's where my spirituality really began. I became a student of meditation, became a student of many meditation teachers and spiritual teachers, and just dug deep into, the spiritual world and really finding out who we really truly are at the soul level and what the human experience is about. And once I had clarity in that journey, it's really where I decided, okay, this is what I want to do with my life. And that's how I ended up going back to grad school. And in grad school, it was hard. I was a single mom. I was a waitress, a bartender. I used to sell wine and make a shitload of money, but I was never home.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
So I was never home. And during the day I was in school, at night I was selling wine. But my daughter now is 18. She's a sophomore at Temple in Philly, and it's crazy. It's insane. And I got through that time with a lot of love searching. So if you are going through a dark time, don't paralyze yourself. I didn't have any role models. I didn't have any other single mothers around me. You know, I was lonely as shit because none of my friends had kids and they were all partying it up, and I was home with a kid. But I used my time wisely. I didn't stay in that victimhood. And I looked for people that, even though I wasn't raised, they weren't in my circle, I wanted to be like. And I surrounded myself with them, whether
Right.
if I knew them or not. If I didn't know them, I will buy their books. And I
Right.
am I read a lot, so I will buy their books. And this is before podcasting, right? So I will buy the
Mm-hmm.
books and I will read their biography, and I will learn from their life story. So as I said before, we're not alone. It's just we have to be resourceful, and we cannot base who we are based on what everybody is. And
Remember that we cannot base who we are versus other people's
what everybody isn't.
what everybody isn't. We cannot base who we are off what everybody isn't because of comparison. That is fucking awesome. Wow, I didn't know. 22, single mom.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know you even
Yeah.
started meditation that early. That's like, that's
Yeah, and that's really I always think Osho, Wayne Dyer, all these meditation teachers for putting their work available, and that's what I do. What I do with my work, because I know that I wouldn't be who I am without that. And then I went through lights being cut off, walking through laundromats. I mean, I used to have a Honda Civic that the windows didn't go up, cars
right.
didn't start. I mean, I went through everything. Like fast food, having just butter and bread, and I've been through it all. So, a lot of hard times, but um, something here and here just said, keep going. And I did.
Right. And we're glad. And we're glad.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people just ride that wave, and
Yeah,
it's a tough ride. It's a tough ride to get to. I'm going to ask you this question, the last question. Okay.
sure.
So the question is that I didn't ask was, where did the brand I Level Up Daily come from?
Where did it come from? So it came from a lot of reflective time about where did I learn to be consistent? Where did I learn to show up on a daily basis and let go of the outcome? And that happened in Crank. That happened through Pete's coaching. That happened through the mindset of you put in the work, just put in the work. And that's where the Breakfast Club came in. And that's where transformation happens what you do with what you do on a daily basis. So I Level Up Daily came from that time in Crank.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Because that's what it is. If you didn't show up, like someone's gonna know, it's so
Yep.
weird, right? It's like, oh, where the fuck was she? Is she okay? And like someone would
Yep.
check on you. It's like, because you had that accountability, and that's interesting. That's cool. That's pretty cool. I would never in my life have thought someone came up with that based off that concept. So that's great.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
great.
And I'll be forever grateful for you, for that community, for that time. It's really been foundational for me.
Oh, thank you. And
Welcome.
I'm glad we could do this. It's cool that I don't know how many years later this is already. It's a million because your kid's already in college. When she was like 3, I don't remember. No, she was like in 5th grade or something like that. And now she's in college at Temple. Weird. And thanks. Really. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course.
So where can people find you? What exactly that you do and offer, and make sure that people know a little bit more about what services you do provide, and how do you hang out with fucking Amber and make her help you level up? Like, how do these people level up a little bit more?
Sure. So you can find me. The easiest way will be IG, right, at Amber Murat Official. That's where you'll be able to see my work. I also have a YouTube channel that's coming very soon, and then on my website at ilevelupdaily.com, you'll be able to find my coaching packages as well as my workshops. And I also offer consulting services for startup businesses who want to build the workforce of the future that's anabolic, not toxic.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That anabolic catabolic is like that just made so much sense once you said it's like, you'll understand this. It's like, how do I understand? Oh, I get it. Never knew there was a difference. I just thought it was numbers. If you guys haven't, rewind, go back to that, learn about the levels of energy. It's fucking awesome. It's really good. But do you have anything for me? You have any questions? I feel like I'm ending in an interview here, but it's just a podcast. I love talking to you. Anything else you want to add? Anything that you think we kind of missed?
No, I mean, thank you for the time. I do have a question for you.
Yay. I was
Yeah,
hoping you
what
weren't going to ask.
I do. Where can when are we gonna see you on stage with your comedy? I'm dying to see it. Um,
Hate me. Well, I went on last night. I promised myself inside my, not my goal sheet, but I would call my weekly structure, is making sure that I try to get up on stage at least once a week. And I started this week. You have no idea how much I wanted to not do it. Like, I gave so many excuses throughout the day of my foot hurts, I'm gonna miss the kids, Nat's too tired, I gotta cook dinner. I did everything beforehand. I set it up. I was like, Uber's too expensive, you don't want to try so much. I fucking just was like, just go and just shut up and just go and have a good time, whether it's good or bad, or it doesn't matter. And like, things when I got there were not good at all. Like, I got there, the doors were closed. I thought it was the wrong day now, just like I fucked up Amber's podcast time. And people were waiting outside and I didn't want to talk to them. And then it was like, I guess it's West Coast thing. Like, things just are later. Like, even though it says 7 o'clock, they're pushing it. It's like hanging out with a Dominican mom and my Dominican wife. It's like the party starts at 4, but show up at 7. Like, it's fucking, it was so late. And then I wasn't on the list. I put my email in 2 weeks ago to try to get into it, but I emailed Salt Lake City, the club in Salt Lake City. I didn't do it here, but they put me on anyway. I went up like 27th and it was a good time. I was number 27th comic. That's how long these people watched. And it was cool. So when will I be on? I have a structure to just kind of work out. So I'm not going in there with zero expectations. I'm just going up and I'm going to talk and I'm going to work out some jokes. And I'm trying to find a way to talk more about mental illness with making it fun, because it's not. So that little spin is kind of what I'm working on. So it's hard because it's like, here's real life struggle. So the one thing that my professional comic, I have a lot of comic friends because when I first started in like 2006 or 7, and then I stopped to do Crank. All my friends are like pros, like they're fucking New York City comics, traveling, touring, Comedy Central specials, and like they're awesome. And like, I just feel like not laughed out, but like I was like, man, I could have did that shit. But I'm like, no, because look what happened in the process of me making the decision. Like, all this greatness, look at this. Right? It's all great. Yeah. I met so many great people. Now it's my turn. So maybe bring it back, or maybe this will do something for this. I don't know. But like he said one thing, he was like, if there's something you don't want to talk about it.
Talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. If there's something you don't want to, you think it's not going to be funny, but it's like, it means something to you, but your personality is going to make it funny. I was like, wow. And then he yelled at me because I remember he yelled at me. I showed him one of my sets. He invited me onto a set. He let me do 5 minutes at like some show in Montclair for like a fundraiser, like 2 months ago. No, 5 months ago now. And he was like, he goes, how did you feel? And I was like, I don't know. Felt all right. Felt new. He's like, it just didn't seem like you up there. He's like, next time you go up on stage, you own it. He's like, because you're not there to make them laugh. You're funny. You're just there to talk. And I was like, wow, that's fucking crazy. Just the different in mindset from when you first started comedy versus like, write jokes that make sure people laugh, make jokes versus like, no, tell them about you and just add your personality to it. And it's pretty funny. So that's what I'm working on. And
I think he's right on, because you've got that. I mean, you're funny as shit, Pete.
Oh, thanks. They didn't think so
really
last night. They didn't think so last night. No, they didn't. It's because I tried jokes. When I tried a joke, they didn't like it. When I just talked my normal stuff, they kind of responded. So that's what you learn, and that's the process of comedy. It's really just like figuring out. So I'll let you know when. I give myself like a year of working out. I would say 2000. I put 2000 and 2022. I'll be within the circuit. That's it. So around the time in 2023, I say I would be able to go different places. But I say it'll probably be beforehand. Just like people graduate college or do IPEC in 9 months. I'm going to do this shit in 9 months too. That's you, by the way. Usually takes people 10 years to finish that course. The guy that was my coach, he started that certification at 24. When he graduated, he was 54. That's how long it took him. That's how long it took him.
Well, you and I are not that different, and I know for a fact that I'm going to see you on stage.
No, 100%. You will. I'll guarantee that. I'll guarantee that. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Amber, for coming out. Again, if you follow her on IG, or go to her website, definitely ilvupdaily.com. Again, I'll put it down on the bottom. And thank you so much for coming out. I really do. It was great talking to you. 100%.
No.
All right.
Likewise. Thank you for having me.
Thanks
for listening, guys.
Thank you for listening, guys. This is Pete from the Jersey to Vegas podcast, episode number 14. I'll see you guys next week. Yeah, that's it. Peace out, guys.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from Pete, you can follow him on Instagram at Pete Isip. Thanks again, and see you next week.
Bye-bye. I'm tired.